Okay, I just made a gaffe. I was actually filming and I've lost the video. Okay, so it's very windy today. Very windy indeed. I'm just on my way over to Ballyfarnan post office to post some calendars. And I thought what I'd do is stop here by Lochmela and just let you enjoy the view. In fact, what I'm going to do, because I'm recording this rather than going live, so it should be a better quality video, I'm going to keep the camera rolling all the way to Ballyfarnan. So I'll be able to show you then where it is I post your book or your calendar or your bumper sticker or your map from. Of course, not a lot of people within the permaculture movement do this. Let me just come back into the car here. You can see over here there's Knockgranny Woods, and so I'm just going to put this back into the little holder here. Just bear with me, because the last time I tried to do this I lost the video. Okay, there we go. Yeah, not a lot of people in the permaculture movement keep to that ethic of staying local. But for me it's very important. So of course everything is printed in my local town of Carrick-on-Shannon, and everything is posted. It's all packaged and addressed at Bealtaine Cottage, and then it's posted from the post office in Ballyfarnan. Now, Keju, which is my local village, and I'm just outside my local village at this point in time, Keju doesn't have a post office. Many of the villages in Ireland are losing their post offices. So that's why it's so very important to use the post office, to support the post office, because it's only through support that the main system on post is forced to keep these local post offices open. And obviously if the trade, if the customer support dies away, then they've got every reason to close them. So for me it's about keeping the west of Ireland alive and vibrant. So here we go. I'm going to just turn around now and just go back on the road to Ballyfarnan. You see there's lots of little trees planted here, and these are oak trees. Just on the left, now you can't see them, the camera's not picking them up. There's 5 or 6 new oak trees planted in there. Okay, so just turn left and we're going to drive, and you see it says up there Ballyfarnan. Ballyfarnan is 5 kilometres. That's about 2 miles, something like that. So here we go. So we're just skirting the edge of the loch. The loch is on the left. And also on the left is the walk that I've often spoken about, the Miner's Way. The Miner's Way. Now, if you check that out on Google, you'll be able to see that it's an incredible walk all over this part of Ireland. So coming up on the right is the local cemetery graveyard, and it's adjoining a very ancient graveyard. And then on the left is a holy well. You can see there's some beautiful autumnal colours here. beautiful day. There's actually a big storm on the way in from the Atlantic. Not too sure of the name of the storm, but we've been warned it's going to be hitting us round about Thursday. So it's a time for battening down the hatches. Now I'm just going to pull in up here because there's cars behind me, and they obviously want to overtake. And we try to be fairly good-mannered here in Ireland and let people get on their way if they're in a hurry. So there we go. Now of course in there you see this beautiful entranceway here on the left. That's the old entrance to Kilronan Castle, and that's where the little fairy house is. And if you want to see the fairy house, just Google the words fairy house followed by Bealtaine Cottage, and you'll find some blogs and a video on that. It's a beautiful little place actually. Right, so this is the domain of Kilronan Castle now. So the new entrance to Kilronan Castle is up here on the left. And Kilronan Mountain is on my right. Quite windy today, and that usually is a wee bit of foreboding of a storm to come, because especially with the Atlantic storms, they're inclined to kind of push the weather at us. So it can be very rainy, very windy, very sunshiny, and then of course the storm hits. So make the most of the weather, I guess. Here in Ireland we drive on the left, and I've noticed as well on YouTube that there's quite a growth in subscribers. I think we're very close now to 19,000 subscribers, so there'll be a lot of new subscribers coming on board who aren't familiar with Bealtaine Cottage. So let me just say that there's an absolute wealth of videos going right back to 2011 if you want to check them out. And there's a massive website with I suppose getting close to 20,000 photographs on the website, and that's simply bealtainecottage.com. And there's also a Facebook page, Bealtaine Cottage Goddess Permaculture Gardens or Sanctuary or something it's called now. I keep sort of tweaking the name to encompass the growing changes at Bealtaine Cottage. So this is quite flat land now, just kind of crossing what was, I suppose, an old bog. A lot of the west of Ireland we have boglands. They're very beautiful, great habitat, a great carbon sink as well. So you see some old trees here. That's because this is part of an old Anglo-Irish estate that belonged to a family called the Tennyson King family, and they would have owned Kilronan Castle in bygone days. So they were famous, you know, for planting lots and lots of beautiful broadleaf trees. So I do feel very very lucky to live in such an area. And of course now with the kind of tidy towns format which a lot of the villages get involved in, it's very much about planting trees. You can see lots of new trees planted up along here. So this is Ballyfarnan now. We're just coming into Ballyfarnan, and on the left up here you'll see garage, Frank Healy's garage. Well, Frank of course does all the upkeep of my car for me, whatever car I have. He's brilliant. He's a great mechanic and a very kind person, very thoughtful, very kind. So this is his little garage here on the left. And then there's a little petrol pump and a shop. So this is Ballyfarnan. And then just down round the corner here, is round quite a big bend, is the post office. So hopefully I've got space to pull in here. I think so. Just going to signal now to pull in. Should be able to get in here. So this is Killoran's, which is a local shop but also the post office. So I'm going to stop there. Blessings to you.